For those that don't use illegal drugs, their lives are more productive. They have a better self-respect for themselves and others around them. They are more reliable, they're healthier, they're happier, and they experience less of the family and financial problems as discussed in my previous recording. Um, the work environment for the work environment that's filled with employees that don't abuse illegal drugs is a safer, healthier, happier environment with better morale. Um, Coworkers learn to rely on one another, and they know they can depend on their coworkers for those coworkers that do not abuse illegal drugs. Workplace drug testing is a tool employers use to, well, it's used two different ways. There's the pre-employment drug testing and the random. The pre-employment drug testing is a way to eliminate the individuals that already have a substance abuse problem. It's a cost-effective measure for the business because they'd rather just not hire somebody that has an existing problem that's going to end up requiring treatment or termination in some cases. So it's a cost-effective measure for the business to do the pre-employment drug testing to eliminate those individuals from the hiring process or the hiring pool. The other type of testing is a random drug testing, and that's routinely, I don't want to say routinely, it's performed after like workplace accidents, injuries on the job, if there's suspicion, if coworkers or supervisors suspect that there's an employee that's using drugs, they'll send that employee for a random drug test. So that's a process employers use to weed out certain individuals from their workforce. And it's not a tool employers use to accuse individuals of drug use, but rather a tool to ensure a safe environment for everybody involved, employer, employees, customers, clients. And on top of being safe, the mandatory workplace drug testing employers perform on individuals is mandated by the federal government. It's required by law. These businesses conduct the workplace drug testing on individuals as part of an agreement or a contract that they have with the federal government. If businesses receive any funding, grants, $25,000 or more, as I found in one of my references, they're required by law. They enter into this agreement with the government to do the drug test or in return for incentives, from the government. Any questions?
Yes, I have one. How important do you feel that drug testing to the workplace?
Very important. As an employee myself of a large corporation, and especially the career, I'm a health professional, I am relieved, happy that my company performs drug testing on its employees. There's been times I've needed to rely on my coworkers, and it's reassuring for me to know that coworker is free of using any type of illegal substance that can alter their judgment, whether it's used on or off the job. It doesn't matter. The effects remain in the system. And as mentioned in my previous recording, the effects of drug use spill over to the motivation and health, family, financial problems, as previously discussed. So I feel it's very, very important.
Do you feel drug testing is a positive tool for both employee and employer?
I do. As I just answered, to the previous question, the safety, the importance of safety and the reliability of those coworkers, knowing they can be depended on, is an advantage. One of the advantages to the employee. Other advantages is employees are generally paid better. I know wages and amount of pay is a touchy subject, it doesn't like to be discussed, but companies that are more productive reap more profit, which results in the ability of that employer to pay the employee a higher wage as a result of the increased productivity of its employees. And the way to get the increased productivity of employees is by, hopefully none of your employees are using illegal drugs. So they come to work, sharp, clear mind and making good, judgments and
Yes,
decisions.
thank you.
You're welcome. Some other questions that people have asked is, hey, what I do on my own time, is none of their business. I'm off the clock. It's none of their business what I do. And I address those issues, and I hear statements of that nature. I address those statements with the reply that whether the drugs are done on or off the system, on or off duty, again, the effects of the drug remain in the system, depending on the drug. And I got a little display here. I like to add it's salt, parsley, vitamins, ibuprofen, but to demonstrate cocaine, marijuana, and barbiturates and barbiturates that people do abuse on and off duty. But they stay in your system for any length of time, again, depending on the substance abused. Depends on the rate of metabolism in the body. And the issues of the family and financial problems that affect, they kind of spill over to the workplace. You know, that old adage of leave your problems at the door when you get to work, and vice versa when you come home, leave your problems at the door. Don't mix. Don't allow the two to mix. And unfortunately, that's hard to do, especially for those that use the illegal drugs. Just poor judgment all the way around. So workplace drug testing is very beneficial. It's not to be looked at as a well, it's none of their business. Yes it is. They're paying you to be a responsible employee. Show up as scheduled and do your job as you agree to do upon hire. So it's very much their business. The other issues with mandatory workplace drug testing that are frowned upon, that people oppose, is why do they have to do it? I'm only a truck driver, for example, or even maybe your bakeries, any position that requires the use of machinery or handling of equipment or involving care of other people is gonna mandate drug testing, because as I've said, the illegal drugs alter the judgment of the the alter the judgment of individuals. So I feel mandatory drug testing is beneficial for employers and employees. There's a lot to be gained by it, in addition to the advantages to the employees for mandatory work testing. The advantages to the employers is their decreased premiums, their insurance premiums on workman's comp, medical insurance are less because they are a participating business in a workplace drug-free program. It's just beneficial for everybody.